This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
How are you doing this week, Tim?
Tom, look at me. I'm positively beaming.
Yeah, well, why is that?
I ate the famous cookie.
What?
The cookie that everybody's trying to get their hands
What
on.
are you talking about?
I ate
the
it.
Cookie that everybody's trying to get their hands on.
The Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, Girl Scout cookies. Ah.
The particular, the new one.
Oh, there's a new one.
It's called...
Tim, I had no idea that people were trying to get this cookie and that you've eaten it.
Tom, this cookie, the Raspberry Rally.
Okay.
It's like a Thin Mint, but it's raspberry flavored.
Oh, all right. Not mint flavored.
Not 5 minutes before I arrived here, maybe a little bit, just as I was walking out the door of my apartment.
Yeah, a Girl Scout was walking by and you mugged her. Took all of her.
Tom,
Just the new cookies.
Tom, guess what? These new cookies, the Girl Scouts wish they had them.
Oh, okay. They can't get them.
Nobody
You gotta
can get
a
them.
Source.
You can sell them on the internet. I don't know if it's open up this box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just got it today. We ordered it a while ago.
Okay.
And she's opening it up and she's like, you know, we could sell this on eBay for $70.
Wow. How much does it cost retail?
$5.
$5?
And we got there was a couple days where you could get free shipping.
Wow. Yeah, I got a couple of Girl Scouts in my life that I've realized I haven't ordered any cookies from.
Tom, the cool thing about 2023 and being an adult with friends with kids is that, like, you don't have to, like, fill out any...
you just have
get
to, like,
an
use a
email
link.
and it's like, hey, it's either like they pretend like the Girl Scout themselves wrote it, but really the mom and dad
Put
wrote
some
it.
backwards R's in there.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly. Or they're just like, hey, my kid's selling Girl Scout cookies. You click on a link.
Yeah.
It's just like ordering stuff, except it's, cookies.
So then what's that teaching the Girl Scouts? Aren't they supposed to be learning something by shilling cookies door to door?
Entrepreneurship.
Well, it's not entrepreneurship.
Innovation. Innovative sales techniques.
It doesn't sound that innovative. Door to door, that's innovative. That's a throwback. You don't get that much nowadays. And it's much harder to
You
say.
would never open the door.
To a Girl Scout, I would. No, I'd be so suspicious.
Yeah.
I'd be like, there are two men with assault rifles on either side of this door frame, just waiting for me to open up that door.
Who are the men representing at this point? Like,
I don't even like the cartel, maybe.
Okay,
or the Russians.
everybody's after
some
you, Tom.
nefarious bad guys that have. And I don't know if in this scenario they've roped in a Girl Scout or they've gotten just like a very young woman to pretend to be a Girl Scout, and they're just relying on the fisheye-ness of the little porthole you got to look through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a very valid fear. This is why you should never answer the door when a little girl knocks on it.
No, I'm actually bad when somebody knocks on or rings the actual door to my apartment, not the building. I either just like hold my breath to be completely silent and pretend nobody's there, or I open up the door without looking.
Yeah. I mean, 99 times out of 100, that's fine. What is it going to be? Somebody, an assassin there for you?
It could be. No, a lot of times it's like a cable guy or something. They're like going door to door trying to get you to switch to
really
another service.
That's what they're doing nowadays?
Yeah.
They got a poor sap going door to door?
Yeah, but get this. When I kind of like when they do it because then I get to open up the door and be a scold. I get to go, you're not allowed to solicit in this building.
You say that?
Yeah.
You are...
I'm calling the landlord right now.
Wow, Tom. You must be pretty proud of yourself.
Yeah. And they're always very scared when I say that.
You got them shaking in their boots.
Yeah.
Tom.
I mean, it doesn't actually happen all that much lately.
Are you wearing boxer shorts and a ratty bathrobe and stubble on your face?
I opened the door the other day and I was wearing Batman pajama pants, and the guy was like, "Oh, cool pants, by the way."
What? That was like one of the cable guys?
I forget who he was. I don't know who he was. He was just a guy knocking on my door. I think he might have been delivering something, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The delivery guys, when they come to my building, they bang on the door and then leave the package there and walk away.
Oh. You don't have a doorbell on your door?
I do.
Oh, okay. But they like banging.
They like banging on the door.
Yeah.
And it's annoying when you have a small child that takes naps.
Right.
And sometimes just
and
like
gets frightened by loud
because
noises.
there's like, a Target delivery with like diapers in it. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, tell them they're for you.
yeah.
This is your fault.
Go get the diapers out of the hallway.
Well, Tim, you buried the lead. How is this cookie?
Dry.
I mean, Thin Mints are pretty dry.
I know.
So
I don't understand why there's such a hullabaloo around these raspberry rallies. All I can figure out.
All over the world right now, there are people that have entered their orders based on you hearing how hard they are to get.
Sold out. What don't you understand? These people cannot place these orders. They're tapped out.
Somebody's got. Maybe these people bought them off eBay for $70.
Oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have talked about the freaking cable guy for so long, giving them enough time to
It's my fault. They should have listened to the whole thing. They ain't even hear if you said it was good or not.
I don't really like Thin Mints. And these also, they're like, instead of minty, they're raspberry-y. But like not, like it doesn't, I don't think they squished up real raspberries and put them in the dough or whatever.
I was gonna say, like, I assumed it was some kind of jelly.
I was expecting it was wet.
Yeah,
a jam, a jelly.
Love a
sorts.
nice wet cookie. Because those peanut butter cookies that they sell, those are kind of wet. I mean, they're not wet, but they have peanut butter in them.
Tagalongs.
Yeah, tagalongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are the unsung hero of the Girl Scout cookies.
Those are my favorite.
People who like Thin Mints are just like, come on, man.
Thin Mints are good if you freeze them.
Sure.
Maybe
I'll freeze these raspberry rallies.
What's the ones that are like kind of chewy, almost like an oatmeal cookie, but they're not
Samoas.
Yeah, those are good.
Which
too.
I think they changed the name to something, but. I'm not up on name changes, Tom.
Yeah.
For Girl Scout cookies.
And one day it's gonna get you canceled.
There's coconut on it.
Yeah.
There's caramel.
Yeah.
That
those are good ones.
I feel like those are unnecessarily divisive because those are the best ones, right?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. We're on the same page with these Girl Scout cookies.
Those are also, I feel like, the most unique. You know, you can't find something similar to those in a store.
Exactly. There are these companies now that are like wink, wink, like making Girl Scout cookies, and they're like, "Oh, you don't have to support this organization for little girls.
Support young girls anymore."
Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe they're making a killing on. Maybe they've commandeered the Raspberry Rally factory, and that's why the Girl Scouts can't get back in.
Yeah, I could see a group like that going on Shark Tank. It'd be like, here's our business. We're going to sell Girl Scout cookies, and we're cutting Girl Scouts out of it. All that extra profit just goes to us. Because whoever is making those cookies, they're getting paid too. It's not just the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Those cookies are only $5 a box?
Apparently.
Huh. I'm trying not to...
Tom, guess what? What you'll find... There's not a lot of cookies in the box these days.
Yeah. I feel like that was always kind of the case, that there weren't as many cookies as you want there to be.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, only $5. And then like you do the math and it's like, I'm paying 90 cents a cookie here.
Wow. So there's 5 cookies, a little less than 5 cookies. I don't know. I'll have to check the math on that one. Tim, this week, speaking of money... And what you get for your money, we're talking about banks.
Everybody loves banks.
Yeah. I mean, last week, everybody loved the banks so much there was a big run on the bank.
Everybody wanted to get into the bank.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going for a bank run. You want anything?
Tom? Banks are in the news for what I understand to be a negative reason.
Yeah, a bad reason. It's not they're not in the news because they've got like a new app.
Here's the thing. I mean, they always do have a new app. You ever try to do banking on an app and then it's like, oh, first take the tour. Like every time you sign in, you're like, I'm just trying to like,
I'm trying
my
to pay
balance.
something.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, take the tour. This is where you can view your account history.
I used the bank the app.
Hey, listen, apps. I never, not even banking apps. Everybody.
Yeah.
I never want to take a tour.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll do the self-guided tour.
Or just freaking put up a web page somewhere that I can.
If your app has to make me go through a tour, it's like, I get it if this is like, I don't know, like After Effects or Blender, and it's like, let's run you through the tour. But if your phone app has a tour, redesign it. It doesn't need a tour.
Yeah. And it's always like, sometimes it's like, oh, this button with a mail logo brings you to the mailbox or whatever. I know. I would have figured it's one of 4 buttons on the screen.
I was using Sunday. I was using the bank app. One of the banks I use is Chase. Like, I guess the primary bank I use is Chase.
Ooh, and what's your account number?
People can use that to send me money, right?
Yeah.
No, because I have I have a savings account with a different bank, and then like we have a business account with a different bank. Like, and all the reason why we have like 3 different bank accounts. It's like each of these offers like, we won't charge you $2 for this.
Right.
Well, actually, the savings, it was like the other bank, Chase, was like, we won't give you anything for putting your savings here. But anyway, I was using the Chase app the other day because I need to find an ATM. And I like looked on Google Maps and I was like, they would know better than anything. It's buried. I couldn't find it. All I could find was a way to make a shortcut to it. So I made a shortcut to it, and then I could tap that shortcut.
Should have taken the tour. It would have.
I should have taken the tour.
The nearest location.
Yeah, but I was like, maybe they put a newer one in. Nah, it's the closest one's still like half a mile away.
Sorry to hear that, Tom. Yeah. I live right near a Chase Bank, and let me tell you, life is sweet.
Well, maybe I should start giving you my account details. You can take cash out for me when I need it. Yeah. 'Cause that's the thing. I so rarely need cash, but then when I do take it out, I never want to pay fees on it.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm willing to like...
Banks are crooks.
Banks are crooks. Well, let's talk about why
they
banks...
nickel and dime you.
Well, they got a vault full of nickels and dimes. Do you understand what happened to banks this past week and why there were problems?
I read a few articles.
Okay. Let's see if you were able to comprehend them.
No, and the answer is no.
Oh, okay.
The answer is kinda. The thing that always screws me up is like the way that banks are presented to us as children.
Yeah.
Is not aligned with the way I understand banks now to actually be as a grown-up, where it's just like, as a kid, they're just like, hey, you put your money there, they hold it for you, and guess what? You leave it there.
And they'll keep it nice and safe there for you.
They'll keep it nice and safe.
Put it in the big vault.
And you'll get some interest, too.
Yeah.
And then, like, even they'll be like, and they lend some of the money out to other people, and then that's how they make money on the interest there.
They split that with you.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Great. And now, a grown-up learning, oh, hey, they got, like, stocks and speculation and stuff, and, like, they have shareholders, and it's like a whole bunch of people are profiting off the bank. It's like, that wasn't the deal.
Yeah.
I thought, the bank president and the tellers, they were doing some stuff.
What do you mean like, they're doing some stuff?
They're the ones taking the deposits, making the loans, getting it. But then there's all these other like speculators involved now. And that's how it got all screwed up, Tom.
Well, from what I don't completely understand it either. But I got this from, I think it was from CBS News. By industry, so the big one was Silicon Valley Bank.
Right.
Which I did read, I think like a tweet or something, where they were like, man, they picked like a bad name for their bank because they're going under and everybody's like, haha, fuck you, Silicon Valley. And they were like, if they called it Santa Clara Farmers Bank, nobody would be gleeful that they're going under. But by industry standards, is according to CBS News, a disproportionate share of the company's capital was held in longer duration investments, including mortgage, securities, and bonds. According to Bloomberg, as interest rates rose, the value of SVB's investments fell, raising concerns about its solvency and leading the bank's customers to yank their funds. But then it says the failures of Silicon Valley Bank, Signature, and Silvergate appear chiefly as a result of financial issues specific to each bank. Okay. Yeah.
So there's these other banks. There's one significant one.
Signature, I think, is the
New York bank that failed.
Yeah. But they're like very quick to be like, no, that was just like they were like, they don't want everybody to freak out and run on all the banks. So it's hard to separate fact from fiction, right? Because like once people start thinking, hey, banks are unsafe, maybe I'll just go take my money out of the bank. And this is when you realize everything's a goddamn house of cards. Yeah, there's
not enough money to cover. And then it's just like, I should have watched It's a Wonderful Life. I would have understood that because I never saw it, but like that's what happens in that famous scene, right?
What, when he wants to kill himself?
I mean, it's partially because of all this stuff.
Is it because he's loaned out too much?
He has to go and be like, I don't have your money. Jim has your money too. Yeah. And, the money
you don't need your money back.
Yeah. And then everybody's like, okay, don't kill yourself, I guess.
It's fine that you lost our money or life savings.
It's Christmas time.
Well, according to this, it said that like Signature Bank and Silvergate Bank, that was due to their exposure to crypto. That I guess they were like too involved in crypto, and then this like FTX thing, and then crypto is incredibly volatile.
Yeah.
So I don't completely understand what happened there, but yeah, I was reading a lot about how
it seems like everybody's working overtime to just tell.
Don't take your money out of the bank.
Your money's fine.
Yeah.
Don't take it out. It's fine. There's this congressman that made a video on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see this guy?
No.
I forget what his name is. He's like some, nobody. But
wow.
he's being praised for like people are like, he calmly explained everything, and he did an explainer video, and now I understand what happened. But it's just like there was a little unpleasantness, and then the government stepped in and did not bail them out, but used the bank's own money that all the banks pay into, and ended the crisis, and everything is fine. So everybody go about your day.
It was an honest mistake. It had nothing to do with corporate greed.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little tinge of like, now we figure out what to do about it, but like, literally, it's like anybody in any position of power is just like, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well, because you don't want a bank run, and
we're here to tell you, go get your money.
Get your money out. They're going to take it
away. Jesus Christ.
No matter where you
Time's
are.
running out. You're gonna be the one caught holding the bag after everybody else gets their money out.
You're going to be caught not holding the bag, or just holding an empty bag.
An empty bag.
Well, everybody.
A moth is going to fly out of this bag.
Yeah, it might have a big dollar sign on the outside of it, but there's nothing in it.
Single moth.
Yeah, that's the big problem, that they don't want a run on the banks, because the banks don't actually have our money if we want it back all at the same time. But in America, at least, FDIC insured up to $250,000.
Yeah, fat lot of good that did for the account holders at Silicon Valley Bank, though.
Well, yeah, if they are holding $100 million of your money, you can't be like, well, at least I'll get $250,000 back. I guess that's not bad. I was reading about the most damaging bank panic of the Great Depression which I don't understand how this. Let me read it to you. Maybe I'm just stupid. Began when a single customer advised not to sell his stocks in the bank because they were still a good investment. Spread a rumor that the bank was refusing to let people sell. Oh, I get it. So I guess he was like, I don't know, I guess went to the bank and was like, I'm going to sell my stocks in this bank. And the bank was like, come on, don't do that. And then he went and told everybody, they're not letting us sell our stocks. This led to a mob of over 2,500 people withdrawing their funds in one afternoon, ultimately resulting in the largest bank failure in all of American history.
Okay. So, I mean, that you just described as like a standard bank run.
Yeah. And that's what they were worried about last week.
So, like, a bank failure is literally an acknowledgement that, like, it's all a very delicate house of cards. And that, like, if everybody figures that out all at once, then it fails.
Well, and that's what I don't understand. Again, reading this stuff, it's like reading now, an instruction manual for a submarine. It's very confusing and boring and difficult to understand. But I had read something about in particular.
Tom, what about your dreams of becoming a submarine captain?
Well, I'm trying to get through this manual, Tim, and
it might not be the career path for you.
It's hard. It's dense stuff. Knobs. You ever watch a video about submarines?
No, I'm too. I start to get out of breath.
Tim,
just talking about submarines now, I feel like I need to gasp for
you
air.
Wouldn't believe you go into some of these rooms.
10 seconds on a submarine.
You see some of these rooms in a submarine. And honest to God, it's like there's just 300 knobs and none of them are labeled. And they're just like, they know what these do.
Also, what could they possibly do?
They're adjusting the gases.
The gases?
Yeah, and I think some of them launch torpedoes.
I mean, all right, but let's
and one
say...
of them makes the periscope go up.
Of course. Probably a couple of them, right?
I would hope. One makes it go up and one makes it turn around.
Have they ever made a submarine just for cruising around, not for battle?
I mean, they make these submarines for smuggling drugs.
Who? The cartels?
Yeah, like the drug. You've never seen
Girl
these?
Scouts in them?
They're terrifying because they're homemade submarines.
Yeah.
Where, they're putting a bunch of guys in and they're like, well, hopefully these guys don't die because then we'd be out all these drugs. That's their primary concern. But they catch these coming from South America to America sometimes. And they're fascinating because they look so insanely dangerous and just terrifying because they're just put together. But at the same time, it's damn, a couple of guys just put together this submarine. And for the most part, they work. Sometimes they don't. But anyway, we're not talking about submarines.
Well, I just feel like if you were just going to get a regular submarine going, a modern submarine.
Yeah.
First of all, how big can you make it? Can you make a luxury submarine? And then also, if you didn't have to worry about doing battle in it.
Right.
How many knobs could you get rid of? What's the fewest number of knobs?
Well, what about those submarines that James Cameron uses to go to the Titanic?
True.
I think those have very few knobs.
Yeah.
They look a lot more high tech.
Well, there's one really big knob operating the submarine.
If Jim hears you say that, oh boy, he's gonna make
film buffs.
The bad guy.
Never bet against Jim Cameron. It's you're not.
Well, it's true. Business. Don't bet against him. Tim, they're gonna
Jim Cameron. All I want.
They're gonna make the villain of Avatar 3 you. Some guy that looks like you, but he's...
when it comes out in 2056.
Did they already film the other Avatar?
No, who cares?
We hear about these things. Me and you were talking the other day, speaking of underwater, this new Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Where I was like, didn't they announce this like a decade ago?
I honestly thought that movie came out already.
Yeah, I thought it did too, because I feel like all the other remakes, they were like, we're going to remake Aladdin and it'll be out next month. Like you heard about it and it came out. But that Little Mermaid movie.
Also, I don't know. We're men in our 40s.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be like, hey, what's the status of the Little Mermaid movie for children? It's fine.
I
It's
just
okay.
know, I mean,
I like the animated movie.
I was not paying attention to it. And that's why when they showed a trailer at the Oscars, I was like, oh, that didn't come out. But then I was also watching the trailer and going, I don't think kids would like this. It looks dark. It looks like everything's
there's like a
just
really,
very dark.
Like it looks very, very sorry. Like it looks like I couldn't see what was happening.
Right.
But then also it's like a very big, intense shipwreck scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, but who is that for? Because I don't care about this.
Yeah.
Little kids are going to be like freaked out by this.
And they're going to be freaked out by those fish.
Those fish look like real fish. We don't want this. This is not what we want. We want cartoon fish singing songs.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand.
Nobody likes those movies, Tom.
Yeah.
This is a problem. They keep making these movies because they're based on
I think
charming movies.
That first Jungle Book did well, I think. So
Tom,
from
they
then
all,
on,
quote, do well in that, like, people go, oh, yeah, it's a new Disney movie. I'll go see it with my kids. But nobody likes them. The kids don't like them. The grown-ups don't like them. But everybody goes to see them. We got to stop seeing bad movies. And we got to take all of our money out of the banks.
But when you take it out, don't use it to go see movies. Don't look at that big pile of money and go, oh boy, I can see all the movies I want.
Yeah.
Still only go see the movies you want to see. I took my niece to see Puss in Boots a couple of months ago.
It's great.
And it was only because it was like the only kids movie out and we wanted to go to movies. So it's like, we'll go see this. And yeah, it was good. It was, I thought it was very enjoyable. It was like kind of about death.
Cool.
in a.
See, they don't also need to do that with, like, I feel like Pixar kind of screwed this up where it's like,
and it has to be about something depressing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, my mom took me to see the Jetsons movie when I was a kid.
Yeah, I saw that in the theaters, too. It didn't have a big overarching message.
No, my mom fell asleep. I remember my mom fell asleep.
I think my parents fell asleep, too.
And I remember being like, I got to wake her up. She's missing the movie. And she was so pissed at me when I woke her up.
But anyway, what I was going to say is I had read somewhere that a friend of the show, Peter Thiel, was the one that like sparked this bank run.
Oh, really?
That he told his investors, of course he's got his ear to the railroad tracks or whatever. You can hear the train coming. And he told everybody like they're in bad shape. All of his like founders, all the companies that he invested in, and told them to take their money out. And that's what started the panic. But it's also crazy that it's like, I also don't completely understand that if you don't have enough if you've lent out all your money, which you're supposed to do as a bank, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. No,
you're not supposed to lend out all of it. They got like risk management guys that'll tell you what to do.
So the problem is,
you get one of those guys on this show.
They lent out too much, right? So if you do that, then the government gets your bank.
Right. Yeah, it's only fair.
I mean, it's fine. I've seen this quote a few times where people say there are no atheists in the foxhole and there's no libertarians in a bank run. Because now all these people that were like, yeah, we should have crypto so we can get the regulations off of all of our money. Now they're like, government, do something.
Please give me my
money back. I want my money back.
And they got it.
Yeah. And now they're like, good. All right, Tim, there's more to talk about. R-I-E Banks. Is that what I meant to say? R-E colon Banks. Regarding banks. There's more to say regarding banks.
I think we've said all there needs to be said about banks.
Tim, we barely even talked about ATM machines.
Well, now you're saying redundant things.
No,
you fool.
We barely even talked about AT machines.
Tom,
that
real
sounds
quick.
like those Star Wars guys, though. The AT-ATs.
Yeah, it does.
That's
Just
an
call them
AT.
ATMs.
That's the original AT machine.
Yeah. Hey, get George Lucas on the phone. Maybe he can sue Chase Bank
Okay. Why?
for stealing the
Oh, I
ideas.
see. Okay.
Do we want everybody to sue the bank? Tom, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
At any point
Mm-hmm.
in the last few days, did it occur to you? Did you consider, hey, you know what? You mentioned that your interest rates on your savings accounts are, fundamentally
Yeah.
useless.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I
Like
just
lower
take-
than inflation.
Yeah, why don't I just take all this out?
Yeah, and put it somewhere. Put it in
Yeah.
a suitcase or something.
Be
and
cool.
Handcuff it to my hand.
That would be very, very cool, right?
Yeah, and then whenever I'd show up somewhere, like we were both at a birthday party this weekend for a friend of the show, Paul. And if I showed up with a briefcase handcuffed to my wrist, and people were like, "What's that about?" I'd be like, "Oh, it's all my money in there." I don't trust
You'd have
the
to say
banks
you'd have to
anymore.
say it quietly.
There's all my money in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to because I'd be able to say, you know what, you're gonna have to take my arm if you want all this money.
Yeah, that's
then they might take my arm.
Yeah. Is that why you have all those guns too, Tom?
I don't have a gun, let alone many guns.
All right, sorry. So you want to talk about ATMs?
I want to talk about ATMs because I watched this. It wasn't. It's gonna sound stupid. I watched this local news segment, but it wasn't our local news.
Why? What do you do all
'Cause it
day?
was on-
I don't understand what your day to day
It's
looks
not
like.
during the day. My problem is that at night I don't go to bed,
Right.
and
You know what, Tom? What time do you go to bed?
I aim to go to bed at 1.
Wow. And
Yeah.
you don't hit that usually.
It depends.
Because normally these days I'm falling asleep on the couch around 9:15,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wake up around 1:30, groggy as all hell,
Yeah.
and then I make my way to
The actual bed.
And last night as I was doing this, it occurred to me like, man, Tom's probably just still up.
Yeah, you
Just
should have
like-
called me.
Yeah, I've been asleep for 5 hours, but Tom's been, I guess, watching local news segments from across the country.
Yeah, basically. Because basically, when I go to bed every night, there's, I don't know, like a solid hour of me thinking to myself, I should go to bed. I'll just watch this video and then I'll go to bed.
What rabbit holes are... I'm shocked you haven't become completely radicalized, especially like in the state that you are, like 1 a.m. Tom,
Yeah.
like
Luckily-
desperately tired. All of your guards are down. Someone
Ready
can
to
just
believe anything.
Yeah, someone can really just
Luckily,
get in
the
there and commandeer your brain.
YouTube algorithm is just give me a straight line of local news segments from around the country. Well, this is a local news segment about like a new ATM thing you have to be on the lookout. So have you heard about like this phone thing that's going on, like iPhone
Tom,
thing?
come
What?
on.
No,
Have you heard-
this is legit.
I
This is in the
know.
Wall Street Journal.
I know. Have you heard about this phone thing that's going
Well, like
on?
the phone scam.
No, I haven't heard about the phone scam.
Well, it's in the Wall Street Journal. Maybe you should read it or at least watch their
I'm not
YouTube
gonna read.
videos.
I'm never gonna read the Wall Street Journal.
So apparently, if you there's been this scam going on where somebody, it sounds like this mostly happens in bars, where I think they'll kind of take advantage of people's guard being down, where there'll be multiple people. It
You know,
seems
my
like.
grandmother always used to say,
What's that?
nothing good ever happens in a bar.
Well, your grandmother has never gotten drunk with me.
Yeah, no, it's a real thrill. Nana really missed out on that.
Yeah, you could tell her. Oh no, Tom's a lot of fun. So the way the scam seems to work, nobody's 100% sure. that they'll like kind of watch your phone and somehow watch you put your password in.
Okay.
Your passcode. And one of the ways that it's like speculated is like somebody will go up to a group of a bunch of women and be like, "Oh, are you guys out celebrating? Let me take a picture of you. Somebody, give me your phone." They give the phone, they take the picture, but then they lock the phone before they hand it back. So, if you like hold down the two buttons, like Face ID and Touch ID doesn't work, like have to put in the code. And they'll watch or they'll have somebody over their shoulder watching. Later in the night, they steal the phone,
right.
Just through regular stealing methods that I'm not going to go into here. But the crazy thing is basically, if you have the passcode to a phone, you can like completely destroy somebody's life just with those like 6 digits, because you can use those 6 digits to change their iCloud password and then sign them out of all their other devices. So now you have the only device that's signed into iCloud.
But iCloud, Tom.
But listen.
What is that, the @me.com
no, but here's
email
the thing.
Address?
Then you can get into if they have bank apps on their phone, you can get into those with the passcode with most of those. So if your passcode is just 1234, well, some people don't have that turned on, but a lot of people do because it's convenient.
Right.
And but they also have your phone. So it's like they could just go and be like, "Oh, I forgot my password." And it will send it to the email that is in your phone.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So this happened to a few people where it's like in the span of like 15 minutes, the person takes like $30,000 out in like crazy ways where like they do that. They immediately apply for an Apple card and then immediately, max that out buying stuff. Like it's crazy. But anyway, like there's really not a way to stop it other than
smash our phones,
other than like make a like a longer password, like an alphanumeric password, or treat it like an ATM password and just kind of like hide,
right?
Because I don't think about that. Like if Face ID doesn't work, I'll just tap my passcode in.
Yeah, I also don't get my phone stolen like a goon.
Well, you did get your phone stolen. You got all your stuff stolen.
My phone was in my pocket.
Yeah, you just got your iPad and your computer stolen.
Yeah. And almost my passport.
Yeah, almost your passport.
I just like to save things once in a while that can be isolated to make me look like an idiot in the future.
I'm never going to get my phone stolen.
I'm going to live forever. I want that to be played at my funeral when everybody laughs at me. Lower my casket down.
So anyway, this I guess it's not related at all, but it was top of mind for me, and that's why when I saw this local news thing,
you just spent 45 minutes explaining this iPhone scam, which is basically like if someone has your password, they'll do bad things with
your passcode, which
right.
is, and so many people have passcodes that are like 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever. Right. But this is relating to ATMs where a bunch of people said they went to the ATM. And I mean, this is like one of those things. I forget what city this was from, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if you'd be able to pull this off in New York. Like people's spidey sense would go off 10 times before then. So somebody walks into like a bank ATM, in
a vestibule.
Yeah, like the separate kind of things that they have that some banks have. You know what I mean? Yeah, vestibule.
Okay.
They go in there, they go to put their card in the machine and it won't go in.
Right.
A helpful stranger nearby goes, "Oh, that's not working. You have to do the tap to pay thing on it instead." And they say, "Oh, thank you, sir." And they do their transaction. They walk away. 5 minutes later, they get pinged or whatever, like $400 just been taken from your account. $400 again, $500. So I'm watching this whole news report like, what is happening? What's going on? How's this happening? It's because the people aren't logging out.
What?
They aren't logging out of the ATM after they're done with everything.
But why does it matter that the person helped them?
Because I guess most ATMs, they'll hold your card until the transaction's done, and then they'll beep and be like, okay, take your card. We're not going to give you your money till you take your card.
Right.
But that isn't the case with the tap to pay.
Yeah, but once, Tom, I think this local news segment was lying. Because every time you withdraw money, and then it says like, hey, do you want to do more banking? If you go, yes, I want to withdraw more money, they go, okay, enter your PIN again.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. It's that those people were watching them put the PIN in.
Okay.
But again, that's where I'm like, New York Spidey sense would be like, oh, this guy's watching me.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dumb people in New York.
Yeah, but I think like after it's like, oh, the card thing didn't work and now somebody's being helpful to me.
Yeah.
And now they're like standing kind of close. I'd be like, nah, something's off. I'm going to go to a different ATM.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I always make sure that shit's like signed out.
I mean, I barely go to ATMs anymore, Tom.
Well, that's the thing. I barely go, so I don't trust myself that I'm up to date on how everything works. Like, I'm that guy who's like probably there an extra 30 seconds. Like everything, I logged out, right? Everything, it's just showing ads again.
That's you, the guy who holds up the line at the ATM to make sure that he's logged out, who tells people that come into his door, there's no soliciting in this building.
Tim, you should have seen me holding up the line at this ATM in Mexico because I don't know Spanish very well. And it took 4 times going through to realize that I could press English at the beginning. Oh man, there was like a huge line building up on me. Yeah, you should have been sent back to the U.S. put in a box. I think I took out like 10 American dollars worth of pesos. Like it wasn't. I went to buy something. It was like, I should take more money out. That was all my money.
Tom, you stink. I don't like going to the bank. Do you find that all bank employees are smarmy?
No, I don't think so.
There's always a guy near the door. They have like greeters who are also like security guards. Like they're kind of like bouncers at the
yeah.
And like, I don't know, they're always wearing like a shiny tie or something. And then like,
hey, how you doing, boss?
Yeah, they're like nice, but not really. You can tell they like
keeping an eye on you.
Nice to like to get something.
If I think you're robbing this bank, I will not hesitate to drop you.
Would you ever rob a bank?
I can't say definitively I wouldn't, because
sometimes you hear about how easy it is to rob a bank.
Yeah.
And you then get away with it. And then you're like, well, maybe I'll get to the point where like I need to rob a bank.
Tim, I was reading about that last year bank robberies in New York City were up 42% from the previous year. And this was a quote from a security guard at this bank that I think the bank had been robbed 4 times that year already. A security guard at the bank was alarmed by the repeated robberies. They're beginning not to care, the guard said about the thieves. It's sad. Isn't that your fucking job to stop them, guard? Yeah, they don't even care. Yeah, why should they? If they can just, were they supposed to feel bad about robbing the bank? That's what you're relying on? No, it's you.
Yeah. What do they attribute the spike in? People don't want to work anymore?
People just don't want to work anymore. No, I think the word's gotten out.
Have the banks gotten woke?
It might be that the banks are too concerned with being woke.
Yeah, and then they're not protecting the money. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you saw. I think again, it was the Wall Street Journal suggested that Silicon Valley Bank might have gone bankrupt because they got too woke.
Yeah.
Because they I guess pledged to have like 1 woman and 1 person of color on their board of directors.
Yeah.
And
they also mentioned 2 veterans, and it's like, Oh, is hiring veterans woke now?
Yeah.
Is supporting the troops woke? Because if so, call me woke.
Right. And it's like, I'm sure the two veterans on that are like 5-star generals that are retired.
Yeah, the same generals that got hosed by Elizabeth Holmes. Is that her name?
Oh, yeah. The Theranos
Mad
lady.
Dog Mattis.
Yeah. A few different secretaries of state. So this Wall Street Journal article was pointing that out.
Mused, would this even have happened if 12 white men were running the bank?
Yeah, and they're like, we're not saying it wouldn't have happened, but maybe they would have, been more focused on. It's like, what? No, that's not how focus works. That's not how maybe. We weren't keeping track of how much money we were loaning out because we were desperately trying to find a black guy to work here. Come on.
We lobbied extremely hard for deregulation that directly led to this. But it's
because we were distracted. Robbing banks. So I don't know why. I think it's just gone up. I think two things. One, it's gone up because word's gotten out that like it seems like 9 times out of 10 you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Although,
let's be clear, Tom. Mm-hmm. We're not endorsing robbing a bank.
Not advocating for robbing a bank.
We're just saying. Seems
You'll
like
probably be fine.
Yeah, like it's not as hard as we've been led to believe in the movies. You ever see Inside Man?
No.
Oh, it's a good movie.
You ever see Outside Man? It's a nature documentary.
It's about a guy who's like in the woods and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Survivor Man. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sometimes it seems like you don't get all that much money. Also, I don't understand. You can get
There's still free money.
You can get a lot. So this bank that kept getting robbed, I get, and I think this is par for the course. Somebody slips a note that says, "This is a bank robbery. I have a gun. Open the drawer and pass me the money." I don't think you have to say you have a gun.
Why not?
Because they're instructed to just like give you the money regardless. And I think saying you have a gun gets you like 20 more years.
Right. Now, if you were to rob a bank, would you bring one of your guns?
I don't have any
or
guns.
Would it just be an implicit threat, this guy looks like he has a lot of guns?
No. Yeah, I think I would rely on that. I wouldn't bring a gun. Like, you bring a gun, you're just asking for trouble.
My problem is, if I went in there, they'd be like, this guy's not carrying a firearm, but he's certainly got some guns. And they'd be referring to my biceps.
Yeah. And then you would have to say, enough chit chat. Just give me the money.
Exactly. Hey.
But I think that
I'd shoot someone to make an example.
But I think that is kind of the difference, that if you just go up to the counter, hand them a note that says, like, give me all the money in the drawer, like, you're just going to get the money in the drawer, and it might only be a few $100.
Yeah, Tom, free money.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want a few $100 right now, Tom?
What I would like to do.
You will not take my money. I'm always trying to give you money, and you won't take it.
Well, I want to take it from you fair and square with
you're afraid there's
gun.
Strings attached.
I'm afraid you put a die pack in the money, to be honest with you, Tim. You seem it's always the same wad of $100 bills.
Can you buy die packs as a civilian?
I don't know. You know what? I looked on eBay one time, and I don't think you can. And in fairness, it is one of those things that what?
I mean, I think we can find. I would like to prank somebody with a die pack.
Oh, of course, we'd all love to prank somebody with an exploding die pack, but it's one of those things where a rare case where I can completely understand why they don't sell them to civilians. There's no actual need aside from fun pranks.
I mean, there's no actual need for fake dog poop, but they
That's
sell
true.
that. Who cares? What does the government care if you're exploding dye all over your friend?
I don't think it's the government. I think it's the company that makes the exploding dye packs.
Okay, well, we should make
trouble.
we should make a consumer exploding dye pack company.
Yeah, I mean we'll
be
do those
billionaires. We'll go on Shark Tank for that.
gender reveal things. Aren't those exploding dye packs? Can you get an exploding dye pack that will reveal if you have a boy or a girl?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the dye packs were mostly purple.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, which right in between blue and pink. So perfect. You can say, well, we don't know. We'll have to wait to find out.
I mean,
and you won't be able to get. Oh, and also, this dye won't come off.
would you, if a close friend of yours held a gender reveal party, would you attend?
It would depend on the specifics. If it was like a crazy, like, oh, there's going to be fireworks, honestly, I would. I like fireworks.
Also, if it's like somebody was like, oh, I think they're gonna beef this in some way.
Yeah, and I might be able to like put this up on TikTok or whatever and get a lot of views.
That's
likes.
all you care about, TikTok views.
Views and likes, baby.
This is why you should be supportive of the dye pack situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand like gender reveal parties. I don't get why anybody gives a shit.
What another
outside of immediate family?
Honestly, as somebody who semi recently with my wife had a child, when we found out the gender, the sex of the baby ahead of time, I think we were just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, I was rooting for something.
I
think it was just like,
I guess I get it if you have like multiple children already.
Yeah.
That if you've already got like 4 boys and you want a girl, like I get that a little bit, but
I just remember being like, all right, it's a boy. This kid's gonna have an easier life than the alternative.
Well, Tim, I got bad news for you. They're canceling men left and right.
What?
Yeah, and your son might be next. He said some very problematic things.
He does say
something. This last weekend.
You did see him like essentially hit on a lot of women, right?
Yeah.
He does this thing when we're out in public. He'll just go up to women all the time and just
grab their
go,
asses.
Go, hi.
Yeah. And it worked. He walked away with a lot of phone numbers.
Yeah, he did. Which was like I had to scold those women.
A lot of those women were married too.
Yeah, I was like, come on, this is clearly a child. He's 16 months old.
Didn't you notice he doesn't even come up to your knees?
You want to know how tall he is?
How tall?
Because like they only tell you in like inches, and like you don't think about it until. But like we're filling out his passport application. He's 2'10". Isn't that just a funny height for someone walking around to be?
It is a pretty funny height for somebody walking around to be.
He's a baby.
Why'd we? Oh, gender reveals. Yeah, but they should sell dye packs. You know what? If you're listening to this, you got an inside angle on getting us some dye packs.
Tom, be careful of getting a package and be like, oh, a fan sent us wad of bills. Boom.
Yeah. Well, I was reading about this guy. I have a few, I guess, maybe interesting things to tie this all together.
I'll be the judge of that.
I can't find the notes now, but this guy robbed a bank, and before he robbed the bank, he put up a Craigslist ad asking for a bunch of construction workers, and the construction workers had to wear a yellow vest, safety goggles, a respirator mask, and preferably a blue shirt. And then that's what he wore to rob the bank. And he had them. He was like, if you want this job, it's $28 an hour. you just have to wear this, wait on this corner, 9 a.m. I'll come pick you up. And then he went in, robbed the bank. And then when the police came, I don't know if they arrested all 12 of these men. But did
he just stand out there with them, do you think?
No, Tim, I'll tell you what he did. And they gave fucking no further explanation in this article, because that was not the most interesting thing about this bank robbery. The most interesting thing about this bank robbery, Tim, is that he made his getaway in an inner tube.
What?
Like down a river. They found the inner tube. They did not find the man.
Was the bank near a river?
Presumably, again, it was like the kicker at the end, just like, and get this, he got away on an inner tube.
State of journalism in this country.
And no further information, where it's like, look, don't get me wrong. The idea of hiring a bunch of decoy guys on Craigslist is great, but an inner tube getaway, now I want to see the movie.
Yeah.
Now I want to know the whole story here. I think maybe it was just the police were embarrassed to be like, we found his inner tube, but we don't know where he went. Maybe he was close to a lazy river.
Well, no, that just goes in a circle.
Yeah,
Tom.
that's true.
He's just going to come right back around at some point.
I don't know, but he got away with this money. Here's another interesting fact I wanted to bring up, because you're partially Italian, Tim. You might like this.
Okay.
Italian.
Is this another plate of spaghetti? You're always trying to get me to eat a plate of spaghetti. You
Tim,
might like this.
You might like this. Italian.
And I do. I always eat the plate of spaghetti.
Italian banks take Parmesan cheese as collateral for loans. And keep hundreds of thousands of cheese wheels
in their website. Did you
in
get
their
this
own climate-controlled vaults for the 2 years it takes to mature?
Tom,
I mean, real Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah, those fantastic.
That's
accent.
expensive stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like stamped, like authentic.
Yeah,
so like it does kind of make sense that would be collateral. But it's just funny to think about that, like all these Italian banks have like
a cheese vault.
A cheese vault, yeah, climate controlled.
Well, I mean, every cheese vault needs to be climate controlled.
Yeah. But I mean, it makes sense. It takes 2 years to mature. Like, give it to the bank, and the bank's going to be like, yeah, in 2 years, you're going to want this back, or else we're going to eat it. Everybody that works at the bank. Tim, what do you think about piggy banks?
You know what? It breaks my heart that you got to smash them.
I was going to say, I remember having piggy banks as a kid and being disappointed that I didn't have to smash them to get the money out.
Yeah, they then, by the time we were kids, there's a plug on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
That you could just undo.
Which ruins it.
Yeah, but back in the day, it was like a ceramic thing.
Back in the day, or was it just cartoons?
Might have just been cartoons.
I feel like both of us, there's like a blurry line between like what happened in history and what happened in Looney Tunes.
I mean, Looney Tunes was fairly reflective of society at the time.
Yeah. And back then, they didn't have the technology to put a plug in that piggy bank.
No. They never knew if it was duck season or rabbit season.
Well, and it defeats the purpose. The whole purpose is like, yeah, you're going to have to smash this thing. You don't want to do that.
Right.
But then that's how we get the phrase breaking the bank.
Is that true?
Yeah. Because you have to break the bank to get it open.
Yeah, I know. What about these little banks that, you put the coin in and like there's a little guy and it throws it to the other guy. And
yeah, those are fun. I like those.
It just seems like who spends their time making those? Like nobody makes those anymore. There's no like bank artisans
you
in that
gotta
way.
get some dead stock somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as a kid I had a few like cool banks where it automatically sort the denomination of the change
cool as hell, yeah.
and everything. And
do banks take your change anymore, or do they just
is it all the machines
like that? You know how they do that when you walk into a bank and ask them to do anything, those smarmy fucks.
You need to have it rolled up.
Right.
Unless they've got a machine.
And then you know what the thing is?
Mm-hmm.
They take your word for it, but they're like, well, if there's any discrepancies, we're going to take it out of your account, right?
Yeah, we're going to take it out of your ass.
So you have to write your account number on all of the things.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an extra step. And then it's like, now I'm supposed to believe you? What if they're like, oh, yeah, we gave you $100. Turns out you miscounted by $75, so we're going to take that $75 out of your account. Those freaking smarmy fucks at the bank. You trust them? I don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. You can find all our social media there. You can find my social media at Tom Reynolds on Instagram and Twitter.
Follow me at your pal, Tim.
And check out our Patreon, patreon.com/complete guide. Last week, a spirited discussion about the slap. This week, we're starting a new book. We're back to Books of Podcast.
Maybe a little bit of slap talk. I know we promised that it was the end of the slap talk.
Wuthering Heights. Get your Bronte on.
Yeah.
At patreon.com/complete guide. And you get all the back episodes, too.
Yeah. Some, non-boring books. Wuthering Heights is cool, right? We all love it.
There you go. A hearty endorsement from Tim. Tim, do you know about I'm looking at any interesting facts I have here to wrap things up, and I don't know if I have them. Here we go. Some species of ants are known to engage in harvesting and storing food, as well as lending food to other ants and charging interest. Is a primitive form of banking in social insects. Bullshit.
What garbage trivia website?
How would an ant know how to charge interest? How would it keep track of interest rates?
Yeah.
How would you even know if it's the same ant?
I think the ants can tell ants apart.
But how did the person who wrote this? How did they tell?
Oh yeah.
How'd they go? Oh yeah,
that's the
banker ant. That's not the same ant that put it there and he's just taking it back. That's the banker ant. See, he's taking a little percentage off for himself.
He's doing the paperwork. Yeah. He's got his ledger out.
He's got that little green visor on.
Yeah. I mean, again, anyone that claims to know anything about science is usually lying.
All right. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.